You know what really happens in your brain when you read? It feels pretty simple, right? But it's actually kind of like a superpower you might not even know you have. So let's try a little experiment. I'm going to show you a few sentences. Just read along with me. Okay, first up. Frank thinks his doctor brother is having an affair with his wife. Got it. Seems straightforward enough. Hmm. The doctor warned her, the wife, I guess, about probable death? Well, that took a dark turn. Wait, hold on. Who's he? Is it Frank? The doctor? And why sorrow? This is getting confusing.
A stab in the back? Are we talking about the affair? Or maybe the death warning? My brain is starting to hurt.
And we're only finding this out now? This is a complete mess. I mean, think about it. Every single one of those sentences was perfectly fine on its own, but the story? It's total nonsense. So what just happened? The grammar was perfect, the words made sense, but the story was a disaster. The answer to why it was so confusing reveals that hidden superpower I was talking about. So here's our first big clue. Order is everything. Our minds are not just passive recorders, they are active sense-making machines. Now look at this. On the right, we have the exact same sentences, just rearranged. And suddenly, it all clicks. The so-called affair was actually the wife's secret doctor visits. Frank's sorrow wasn't from jealousy, it was from learning about his wife's illness. The order didn't just change the story, it changed the meaning of every single piece. And this gets us to the absolute core of it all. Meaning isn't something you just passively absorb from the sentences. No, it's something your mind actively builds in the empty spaces between them. It's an act of creation. So how in the world does our brain pull this off? Well, it's not just connecting facts like a computer. It's doing something way, way cooler. It's creating a rich, detailed simulation in your head. Scientists call this a mental model. And a great way to think about it is that you're a movie director. The words on the page, that's your script. But your mind builds the sets, casts the actors, and imagines all the action. You're creating a whole movie. Okay, that sounds cool, and it feels right, doesn't it? But how do we actually prove it? How do we know we're building a little movie in there, and not just, a boring spreadsheet of facts? Well, a really ingenious experiment gives us the answer. So researchers had people read simple sentences, just like this one. Simon baked some cookies, but no bread. Now pay close attention. The word bread is explicitly there. It's right on the page. And here's where it gets amazing. When they tested people's memory a moment later, people recalled cookies super fast. But recalling bread, it was much, much slower. Why? Because in the mental movie you just directed, the cookies exist. You can see them, maybe even smell them. But the bread, it doesn't exist in the world of your story. Your brain prioritizes the story's reality, not just the words on the page. This kind of mental movie making happens constantly, in ways we don't even notice. And a perfect everyday example is the humble pronoun. When you read that second part, it was in that same year that he began going out socially. How did your brain know, instantly, without even thinking, that he was Benjamin Button and not his father? I mean, both are male, both were just mentioned. It's your mental movie. You've already cast Benjamin as the star of the show. Your brain has put a big, bright spotlight on him. So when a vague word like he comes along, your brain just automatically assumes it refers to the person in the spotlight. It's an effortless, invisible inference. And this brings us to the hidden glue that holds language together. Your mind is constantly using different kinds of these invisible inferences to connect all the dots and build that coherent world for you. There are two main types of this glue. The first are bridging inferences, which are the basic links your brain has to make for a story to make any sense at all. But the second type, presuppositions, now this is where things get really fascinating and pretty powerful. Simply put, a presupposition is an idea that gets smuggled into a sentence. The language is structured in a way that just takes for granted that you already know this background information is true, so your brain doesn't even stop to question it. This example shows the power of a single, tiny word. If I ask you, did you see a stop sign? I'm asking if one even existed. But if I ask, did you see the stop sign? Whoa, I'm now presupposing it was there, and the question is just whether or not you saw it. See how that works? And this isn't just a fun little language trick. It has some serious real-world consequences. In studies with eyewitnesses, simply asking a leading question with a presupposition, like asking about the broken headlight when there wasn't one, actually increased false memories by up to 40%. That smuggled assumption has the power to create a memory of something that never even happened. So let's tie this all together. From that jumbled mess of a story about Frank, to the mental movies we direct, to the invisible glue of inferences, we've seen that understanding language is not a passive act. It's an act of creation. As the researchers behind these ideas put it, the words themselves are just the starting point. They're the raw materials for this incredibly rich mental world that you, and only you, build inside your own head. And this is the crucial takeaway. The one thing I really hope you remember: language isn't the finished building, it's just the blueprint. You are the architect. You take that simple blueprint and you construct an entire, vivid world inside your mind. Every single time you read a book or listen to a story or even just have a conversation, you're performing this incredible act of cognitive construction. So now that you know you're the architect, the only question left is, what worlds will you choose to build?